Good morning, my friend. Today we are in Pondicherry, India, which was an area of India colonized by all sorts of Europeans. We've had the Dutch here, the British, and most recently it was a French colony. So you'll have various aspects of French architecture and French cuisine all mixed with the local Indian traditions. And now we're gonna see what Pondicherry has to offer. Let's go. Now it's the daytime right now, and even now everything is hustling and bustling, shops are open, everybody is driving around, walking around, and at nighttime all of these places light up. You're walking down here, you almost feel like you're walking in an Indian version of New York City. Now there isn't really any sidewalk space, and whatever sidewalk space there is, it's pretty limited. So everybody, when they're walking, they just walk on the road along with all the other cars and the two-wheelers, and everybody's just doing their best not to get run over. You really have to pay attention when you're walking around here. This is the guy holding his camera and not looking anywhere where he's going. If you come here, you can rent whatever you want. You can rent a scooter, you can rent a bike, but the thing is, if you're a tourist who hasn't driven one very much, I highly advise against that. It's pretty freaking crazy out here. This is how we know that this was a French colony and we're in a French area. Look at that. Rue Saint-Ange. So Pondicherry was a French colony. So when Great Britain lost control of India and the rest of India had declared its independence from them, this whole place wasn't actually a part of India. It was still a part of France until they led their own independence movement, and then in the early 1950s finally unified with India. And that right there is the main man himself, our boy Gandhi, the man responsible for India's independence from Great Britain, but not from the French. This must be the rock beach of Pondicherry. Wow, look at that. It looks like something straight out of New Orleans, doesn't it? Which makes sense, this being a French colony. So New Orleans, Louisiana was also controlled by the French, so it makes sense that the style would be like this. Pondicherry seems like what New Orleans could have been if in New Orleans they didn't drink so much and vomit out on the streets. So it's like the two took different aspects of French culture, whereas New Orleans took the debauchery of the French people, and Pondicherry chose instead to focus on the more pretty aspects of French architecture and decor. Check it out, this seems like the most Instagrammable spot in all of India. When you're walking through here, you get the vibe that you're walking through almost like a movie or a story, like old 1800s France, somewhere in the Riviera. Only you're not in the Riviera, you're in southern India. You've got the ultimate blend of Europeanism and Indian culture just meshed together. I mean, for real. Here we have a Rue. Right across the street from it, we've got a cafe. This place looks more French than France does. And lo and behold, we've reached Rue Dumbass. Now, while you may know countries such as Italy as being one of the main places to get a coffee, where you know the coffee is going to be super good, the fact is that actually Italy produces very, very little coffee, and it imports almost all of its coffee from other places, one of those places being India. So when you come to India, the coffee is quite good because it all comes from here. It's very hand-picked, meticulously, it's grown in the shade, which is why it's so good. And hence, you have all sorts of coffee shops throughout India, especially this part of India, where we are right now, Pondicherry. So when you stop by here, this is the place to get yourself some espresso, some cortados. Wow, look where we are. The real India. Okay, my friend, if you liked what you saw, like, share, subscribe. See you in the next one.